What's up, everybody? Another day, another vlog. Um, I heard some crazy news over the weekend, man. But this is vlog 2. I did not expect vlog 2 to be a vlog that I would make necessarily about something that's relatively, I guess, not as joyous, you would say. But I heard of the news of the passing of Stuart Scott. For those of you guys who do not know, the ESPN legendary, I would say, anchorman, Stuart Scott. Oh my God, like when I heard of his passing, I was totally shocked through his battle with cancer. I mean, that guy revolutionized the way you watch ESPN. If you're a sports fan all over the world, I mean, he impacted just the attitude. He gives some flair. He gives some an edge to, you know, sports broadcasting. He was different. I think he joined ESPN. I was reading a little bit of his tribute and what ESPN did about him, which was wonderful, by the way. Big shout out to ESPN on that. That was really good. I mean, that guy, there's 3 aspects that I really love about Stuart Scott and just learning about his life that I kind of want to speak on a little bit on today's vlog. One is that he was true to himself, entering a genre in TV where it was mainly a white male dominated type pristine journalist channel or arena, but he came in a little bit more edgy to try to talk to a more specific audience, but not restricted. See, it was specific, but it wasn't restricted. It was more of a hip hop, cool, up to date with the words like "booyah," like the cool as the other side of the pillow, like bam bam. I mean, he had so many catchphrases. He had so many. It wasn't even just there were catchphrases. There were honestly just his way of doing things that was just kind of cool. That was just kind of like, yo, that was Stuart Scott. Like, literally, I'm not gonna lie to you. I started watching ESPN probably 2005, 2006, and ever since then, I would love all like the late night shows that Stuart Scott would do. Oh my God! When I heard about it, I was watching the Dallas and Detroit game, the wild card playoff game, and I was like, whoa, what happened? He died. It's actually unfortunate because I only learned of his fight against cancer at the ESPYs when he gave that moving ESPY speech. Oh my God, that guy was strong. I'm getting over the place, guys. I apologize, but yeah, the first point that I want to say, like, he was true to himself in a different culture. He was not afraid to be a transcender or somebody that was just kind of just different. So I love that about him. Another thing that he did that I think is kind of like worthy to be said is he had the ability to communicate. I don't know. I'm somebody who loves the importance of. I always say it's good that you know what you want to say, but you have to have the ability to adequately or effectively communicate your point out there. So somebody who was able to communicate sometimes not just what the stats and the information that people needed, but also sometimes the feeling behind like a shot, a hit, a basket that was made, a specific artist genre, a specific sports, athletes, train of thought, colloquialism, lingo, you could say. Come on, this guy sat down with presidents, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. So his effectiveness in communication was also what made him just a primetime attraction. I mean, this guy, I was reading eulogies from colleagues and athletes, and even the president wrote about this. I think he tweeted or something like that. It was the #1 trending topic on Twitter yesterday. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's I don't know, man. It was just nuts. It was just nuts. So one was just he was able to be different and stay to himself in an area that was not so favorable to somebody like that. I mean, he was somebody of color. He was somebody who was a little bit different. So I'm really applaud him for doing that. And 2, he was able to effectively communicate his points, his ideologies, his way of doing ESPN, which was just new, which was rich. So it helped ESPN tremendously. Third was he was a fighter, man. He was a fighter. He fought through the end. Fighting cancer. Cancer came back 3 times. First in 2007, then 2011, and man, he was a fighter. And then he came back again 2013. And I love the speech he gave at the ESPYs. Moving speech, man. Definitely, I might even leave a link to the ESPN channel to the speech. You guys can definitely see that. One thing he said that was powerful, he says, even if you die to cancer, it doesn't mean that you've lost. You've beat cancer by why you live, how you live, in the manner in which you lived. I mean, oh my God. I remember I was watching the video when Hannah Storm was told of the news of the passing of Stuart Scott, and she couldn't hold her emotion, and she cried on stage. That showed raw emotion, man. That's when you know you're living a legendary type of life. I mean, this guy was true. He loved his daughters. I mean, come on. Sometimes that's something else I want to say. Often enough, black men are portrayed as people who don't love their kids, who are just kind of like a little bit passive about, their families and their children. So it's a good depiction to see people in sports who are responsible about their family, who are diligent and love their family the way they do. So big shout out to Stuart Scott, man. You were the best. From a young sport fanatic who just kind of like grew up on your stuff, man, may you rest in peace. All prayers to your family, to your daughters, to your friends. I mean, the sport world has lost somebody great. He only died he was only 49. So like I told you guys, this was not supposed to be vlog 2, but I think it's worth saying that Stuart Scott lived and impacted the sport world in such a short time, man. It was well lived. It was a life well lived, man. And to all those who also fighting cancer or whatever the type of cancer may be, man, may you have courage. May this be a story also that gives you courage, not because he is passing, but because of the way he lived his life, impacting his family, living a legacy to his daughter, impacting a world sports fan all over the world. Anybody who grew up and watched ESPN at some point in their life can definitely attest to the fact that, man, Stuart Scott was the man. He revolutionized the sport. Man, I gotta go, but I hope this finds you well. Never give up, man. Never give up. Whatever the case may be, man. When the messenger of misery come find you, may he find you climbing up a new mountain, fighting a new fight, and not climbing down an old one. He took up kickboxing. I mean, the guy was kickboxing before it was all done. Live a life well, worthy to be lived, man. It's crazy. See you on the next one, guys.